Hey guys, it's Jeremy Dread here. Today we're going to be doing a Trapcode particular logo reveal in After Effects, and this is going to be my very first tutorial on YouTube. So excited. Alright, so first thing you want to do is you're going to want to get a logo. You could use your own logo. I'm going to use my logo. Just going to drag that in here. You're going to also want to use the dimensions of your logo. So how you can do that is you can just drag your logo down here, right there, and then you're going to touch on your logo, click on your logo right there, press S, and I'm going to bring mine down to 33 so it fits the screen. Also, another thing is that depending on the amount of memory that you have, After Effects does kind of eat up a lot of memory when it's rendering, and with Trapcode particularly, it kind of does eat up a little bit more than usual. So my suggestion for you is just to follow along and to keep up. I would drop mine all the way down to a quarter, or you could do a third or a half if your computer has enough memory power for it. But just for the use of moving smoothly in this tutorial, I'm just going to drop mine to a quarter right here. All right, awesome. And then next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the ellipse tool right up here, right, and we're going to make it as big as the logo right here. I'm trying to make it as big as the logo. All right, just a little bit. Okay, make sure it covers it well enough. All right, so your fill color is going to be white, and mine is white here already, and your stroke is going to be null, and mine is null here already. All right, cool. And then we're gonna go to effects and presets right here, and we're gonna look for turbulent displays. We're gonna drag that onto the shape layer right here. Cool. All right, so we're gonna change some values right now. Amount is 100 and complexity is 10. Awesome. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back to the shape layer and we're gonna press S for scale. And then the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna make sure that we're at the start of the timeline right here. Awesome, cool. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a keyframe right there at the start of the timeline, and we're gonna change the value of the scale to 0. All right, and then next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go to 3 seconds forward on the timeline. So right here, you could also use page up or page down to move on your timeline. All right, so we're at 3 seconds, and when we're at 3 seconds on the timeline, we're going to change the value back to 100%. Right? All right, so next thing we're going to do is we are going to select both our keyframes. We're going to press F9 for easy ease, and then we're going to go right here to the graph editor. And this is another thing, if your graph editor doesn't look like mine, not to be worried. What you can do is just click right here, right, and then you also right click right here, and then you go to edit speed graph. When you select that, then it should look like mine. All right, mine is already on speed graph, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna just drag it in like that. All right, awesome. All right, so the next thing you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to make sure that you have all of these options here. So what you can do is mine is already up, but what you can do is you can press F4, right, and it would kind of bring them up. Mine is already there, so just press back F4, right, and then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to the logo layer, and you're going to want to go right here and change it to alpha matte. Awesome. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna create a new composition, and then there's a few ways of doing that. You could just press Ctrl N, You could press Control N, or you could go to composition, press new composition, but I like to use my shortcuts, so Control N, and that brings up a new composition for me. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna make sure that the new composition is full HD 1920 by 1080 with 30 frames. Nice, and make sure that the duration is 10 seconds. Yeah. Awesome. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a new solid, right? We're gonna either click here, right click here, and go to solid, or for people that love using shortcuts, you could do Control Y, and it brings up new solid. All right. So for new solid, all I need is to kind of bring it to a lightish gray right there. Yeah, lightish gray, that's good. And then press OK. All right. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go to the project window, and we're gonna drag our logo layer down here. We're gonna put it right above our gray solid. All right, and then we're gonna press Control D. We're gonna duplicate it, and the one at the top, we're gonna rename it. We're gonna rename it logo. All right, just like that. All right, awesome. And then what we're gonna do next is we're going to select both comps like so, and then we're gonna make them 3D. All right, cool. Again, we could press Control Y or right click here. Just for reference sake, I will right click here, and then we're gonna create a new solid. I'm gonna name this, we're gonna rename this solid particular. Yeah, we're gonna name it particular. Okay, awesome. And then we're gonna go to effects and presets, and we're gonna look for particular, and you're gonna drag that onto the particular solid. Awesome. All right, this is where it gets exciting. Well, yeah, we're here to do the work in Trapcode particular, and this is where it kind of gets good. Awesome. All right, so we're gonna go to the emitter master layer, and then the first thing you're gonna make sure you do is you make sure that you're at the start of your timeline right here, and then we're gonna create a keyframe for particles. All right there. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna make sure the value is 0. Awesome. And then we're gonna go to 3 seconds on the timer right here, like boom. All right, cool. And then we're gonna change the value here to 80,000. 80,000, one more. All right, awesome. That's good. And then we're gonna go 1 second forward to 4 seconds. Nice. We're gonna go right there, and then we're gonna change the value of particles to 0. All right, awesome. And then the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna change the emitter type, which is right here. We're gonna change it to layer. We're gonna scroll down here. If you have to scroll down, you can scroll down right here. Mine is right here. We're gonna go to layer emitter, and then we're gonna change a few things here. We're gonna change layer to logo, and we're going to change layer sampling to current time right there. Awesome. And then what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go to the first frame in the timeline, and then we're gonna go to emitter type up here again, we're gonna change, we're gonna make a keyframe for velocity right here, right at basically the start of the timeline, right? You gotta make sure it's at the start of the timeline right here, and then we're gonna change the value for velocity to -200. Right, and then we're gonna go to 4 seconds, and we're gonna change that same value to 0. All right, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to particle master, and we're gonna change life seconds here to 2 instead of 3, and we're gonna go to the sphere feather, and we're gonna change that value to 10. Then we're also going to change random size, or size random to 100. All right, awesome. Right here, you're starting to see the particles starting to take the color of the logo and stuff. Yeah, which is what it's supposed to do. All right, we're gonna go to what we're gonna do next is we're gonna go to shading master. All right, and we're gonna turn on shadow let for main and for aux. So we're going to turn it on right down here, shadow let for main, shadow let for aux, and we're just going to turn both of these on right there. All right, cool, awesome. We'll bring that back up. We're going to go to the physics right now. Awesome. Then we're going to go to air, and then we're going to go to turbulent field. We're going to bring up a bunch of values right there, and we're going to change effect size right here. We're going to change that to 100, and then we're also going to change effect position, which is right below it. We're also going to change that to -100. All right, awesome. I'm just gonna close this back up. Actually, no, we're not gonna close that back up. You want to go to where transform, go to, okay, so we're gonna make sure we're gonna go back to the beginning of the timeline. Yeah, and then we're gonna bring this back up again, and then we're gonna go to world transform right here, and then when we go to world transform, we're gonna make a keyframe on the X rotation. So right here, we're gonna make a keyframe and make sure that you're at the start of your timeline, and we're gonna change the value for X rotation to -250. Awesome. And then we're gonna go to 4 seconds on the timeline. We're gonna go to 4 seconds on the timeline, and we're gonna change the same amount of the X rotation to 0. All right, and then we go back to the start of the timeline, and we're gonna create a keyframe for the Z offset right here, boom, and then we're gonna change the value for Z offset to -3500. And then we're gonna go to 4 seconds right there, 4 seconds on the timeline, and then we're gonna change the value for Z offset to 0. Cool. Yeah, you start to see like the particles here is starting to get a little bit of depth and stuff, which is pretty much what we're kind of going for, which is pretty much a good look so far. Yeah, it's not looking too shabby, if I do say so myself. Cool, awesome. Yeah, okay, cool. So what we're gonna do now is we're going to drag our first logo layer here. We're gonna drag it until we basically can't really see it anymore. Right, so right there will be good. For me, it's 3 seconds and 15 frames. It doesn't have to be perfect. It does not have to be perfect, but you know, it just has to be good enough. Yeah, it just has to be good enough for you. Whatever works for you is fine. Right, you eventually have to turn off this logo layer here, the one above it. But we're gonna do that in a second. First, what we're gonna do is we're going to select the ellipse tool, yeah, and then we're going to draw it over. Where did that go? Control Z. We're gonna try it again. I'm gonna try to draw the ellipse tool. Sometimes this happens. Select ellipse tool. There we go. Right here. I'm gonna drag it out a little bit so we cover it completely. We're gonna make fill color none right here. So we're gonna just make sure that we actually have it right here. Could bring it down a little bit. Could bring this in a little bit right there. Yeah, so for everybody, I mean, depending on the size of your logo, mine's a little bit different here. Yeah, you're gonna try to make sure we get everything in it. Okay, but trying to move across a little bit. Yeah, definitely. Okay, cool. That looks good. That looks good. Yeah, make sure that the fill is none and the stroke is basically whatever color you want it to be. For me, I will just select that color right there. You know, bring down the stroke size just a little bit. I am going to bring mine down to about 12. Right, cool. And then the next thing that we're going to do is we're gonna really make sure that it's really centered in there. Yeah, it looks centered enough to me. All right, cool, awesome. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to the shape layer right down here, and then when we go to the shape layer, we're gonna go to add, and we're going to go to trim path. All right, then we're going to go in the trim path, and we're gonna go to 5 seconds and 20 frames on our timeline, and then we're gonna create some keyframes to start and end in trim paths 1. And we're gonna make sure that the values are at 0. It's definitely key. All right, make sure the values are at 0, and then what we're gonna do is we're going to go to 7 seconds on the timeline, and we're gonna change back the values for start and end back to 100%. Yeah, definitely. Liking how it's kind of shaping up now. Let me see. We could close this up, and I forgot to mention that we should definitely turn off the logo layer, the layer named logo If you so desire, we are making keyframes in Shift Layer 1. You can press U to bring back up the keyframes. You could offset it a bit if you so desire. I'm gonna render it out just a little bit to see what's going on right there. Come back here. Just render it all back a little bit. Yeah, you could offset it a little bit if you want. Let's see. We could bring this to here. Bring this to here. Here. Yeah, we could offset it. Let's just see. Yeah, let's try that again. Yeah. Or if you want to do something different, try this one here. See what it gives me here. Yeah, kind of like that one a little bit better than one before. All right, cool. What we're gonna do is we're gonna select scoop. Control C undo that. What we're gonna do is we're gonna select all our keyframes. Nice, the easy ease F9. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to our graph editor. We're gonna go here. We're going to select both actually. We're going to drag it in. Remember, if your graph isn't like that, all you need to do is right click. All you need to do is right click right here and go to edit speed graph again. Alright, awesome. We're almost done, coming to the ending part of the tutorial. And then what we're going to do now is we're going to go to the first logo comp. Which is this one right here. And we're going to go to effects and presets, and then we're going to look for drop shadow. And we're going to put that on our first logo comp. Nice. And then what we're going to do is we're going to change the opacity to 30, and we're going to change distance to 30 as well. And these are just some values that I came up with, just trying to get this going. But for you definitely could just play around with the values, play around with the figures, and just see what's going on. So, that looks a little bit quick there. But like I said, you could definitely just play around with the values and just see how things are. Play around with it and to your liking. Again, this is Jeremy Dread. Hope you liked the tutorial. Hope it was simple to follow, easy to follow. And I hope you really like this tutorial. Definitely like, subscribe, and share. Turn on the notification. I'll be trying to do tutorials every week, starting out, but let's see how it goes. And definitely leave a comment below in the comment section, so I know what you guys think and know what you guys thought of this tutorial. So all right, until next time, take care.